making the training possible, but also for being instrumental in ensuring that the armed forces is a pact of quality and professionalism.
It may be pertinent to note that when the idea of skydiving was conceived, His Excellency directed that the armed and security services take part in the training and undergo skydiving and parachute jumping. Heeding to His Excellency's instructions, we did not hesitate to spearhead the initiative and hence cleared the ground and provided the requisite logistics. And today we have successfully seen.
This training is an additional and in line with the CDS training calendar 2013 to ensure a highly trained armed force that is prepared to meet the ever-demanding security challenges in the 21st century.
After the presentation of awards, volunteer participants were eager to display parachute jumping skills they've learned during the course of the training. Even as the crowd watched on, momentarily mesmerized, it's evident that it took just more than training to do what they did. And if anything, they were all unanimous in their awards.
Like when you are up at 1,200, the moment they open the door of that plane, and you are to jump out of the plane, it takes a lot of courage, but you just have to do it. We have done it over and over, and we thank God that we have developed that courage as well.
It's so hard to learn, yeah, and the air is too much in the sky. Yeah, so when you are learning, you should use your six. If not that, you will have so many injuries.
Part of courage and determination and having the discipline, because without which it's going to be very difficult for just seeing a civilian beside you telling you to jump out of an aircraft 1,200, 1,300 meters. Is really determination and discipline.
Yes, courageous, as you can see. If you want to do it, first of all, you have to think about it. But I mean, training is all what it takes to be there, and doing it is no magic.
This newest product of Gambian tourism have proven to be a booming success for not only the hospitality sector but the Gambia Armed and Security Forces, who are poised to share the benefits the package unloads in the form of training. For GRTS News, I am Deku Madema.
Carter Nursery and Lower Basic School of Talinding recently benefited from gifts and other valuable learning materials from their sponsors. Patu Jase has details of that story in this report.
Ceremony to welcome and express appreciation to these philanthropists and true friends of the Gambia. Christian Carter, one of the sponsors and founders of the school, expressed delight for being associated with this gathering. She promised to work with her colleagues in the UK to build more classes. The school principal commended the sponsors for the good gesture, adding that he and his able staff would work to the best of their ability to provide quality education for the children, urging parents to encourage their children to make best use of the opportunities available. Babugay Sonko, nominated National Assembly member, applauded these friends of the Gambia for complementing government's efforts. Mariama Diba, whose 3 children are being sponsored, applauded the donors for the timely intervention, saying it would greatly enhance the education career of her children. A healthy mind in a healthy body, a medical facility is also under construction at the school premises. This Honorable Babugay, on behalf of the community, commended the donors for providing. The gathering also saw presentation of gifts to students from their UK friends. For GRTS News, I am Fatou Jassi.
Well, time now to take our first break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to GRTS News. The United Nations has raised concern over cases of human rights violations in Mali and calls for investigations into the claims of reprisal and summary execution by the Malian army. The Malian military has denied the allegations and said it will lead an investigation if necessary. We have details in the CFI report.
On the outskirts of Sevare, a town in central Mali, residents no longer draw water from these wells because of the odor of putrefaction. According to witnesses, Malian soldiers carried out summary executions here and threw the bodies into the wells. It was night, and when we were just going to bed, we heard the sound of gunfire. It is believed that between 10 and 20 people, suspected by Malian troops as having connections with the rebels, were shot or stabbed to death and thrown into these wells or otherwise disposed of. Mali's army has denied the claims. To the best of our knowledge, no executions were carried out. But if indeed they were, they will be investigated, just as they would in any normal army. Over the last several days, reports of summary executions have come in from Sevare, Mopti, and Niono. Most of the victims were Tuaregs and Arabs, whom the army accused of aiding the rebels. Human rights groups are calling for an investigation and the deployment of UN observers. The United Nations has been cautious in its response, intent on separating rumor from truth. The fact that there are rumors doesn't mean that these rumors are true. We need to be there to verify them. The population has already suffered so much and now finds itself in the midst of ethnic and religious violence. We don't want this. We don't want to be told that genocide is taking place. The French defense minister urged extreme vigilance among Malian troops to ensure against any abuses, saying that the honor of the Malian army was at stake.
The British government is warning its citizens to leave the Libyan city of Benghazi in response to what it says is a specific and imminent threat to Westerners. Benghazi is a city where an attack on U.S. consulate resulted in the death of 4 Americans, including its ambassador to Libya, Christopher Stevens. And news of that threat comes just a day after U.S. lawmakers got their chance to question Hillary Clinton about the attack. It was at times fiery and emotional, but as CNN's Jill Doherty explains, the U.S. Secretary of State remains steadfast and forceful.
If she was tired by more than 5.5 hours of testifying on the deadly attack in Benghazi, the recently ailing Secretary of State Hillary Clinton denied she was holding anything back from Congress.
That's not who I am. That's not what I do.
There was no doubt how personally Clinton took the death of the 4 Americans in Benghazi.
I stood next to President Obama as the Marines carried those flag-draped caskets off the plane at Andrews. I put my arms around the mothers and fathers, the sisters and brothers, the sons and daughters, and the wives left alone to raise their children.
But Republicans leveled angry charges that the State Department and the Obama administration did not see the danger signs.
I categorically reject your answer.
Had I been president at the time, and I found that you did not read the cables from Benghazi, you did not read the cables from Ambassador Stevens, I would have relieved you of your post.
We have no doubt they were terrorists, they were militants, they attacked us, they killed...
Clinton was at times defiant and not afraid to push back.
No. Again, we were misled that there were supposedly protests and then something sprang out of that, an assault sprang out of that. And that was easily ascertained that was not the fact. And the American people could have known that within days, and they didn't know that.
With all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
Madam Secretary, you let the consulate become a death trap. And that's national security malpractice.
I think I've made that very clear, Congressman.
For the first time, she explained why it was UN Ambassador Susan Rice and not she who delivered those misleading talking points.
I have to confess here in public, going on the Sunday shows is not my favorite thing to do.
In a day of heavy questioning, a rare light moment.
Madam Secretary, first let me thank you for your service, and I wish you the best in your future endeavors, mostly.
Optimism continues to grow for emerging economies at the annual World Economic Summit in Davos, Switzerland, and after Africa's economic outlook shows greater resilience towards the global financial crisis. The impressive growth became the focus at the forum, with last year's